Hey Nikon, this is Brian from Leadhounds, and in this video, I want to show you 3 things that you can start doing to bring in more patients through your website. So, I know you're already working with a company that built your website and they do SEO for you. I saw that at the bottom of your site, but I wanted to reach out because although they built you a beautiful website, I actually really love the site. I noticed that you're not showing up on Google searches for keywords that are related to your services. So, you know, basically that means if nobody's finding your website, right, they're not going to see this awesome website that they built you. So, I just want to explain, how you can change that, just a few things that you can do to start showing up for those really valuable keywords. And that's going to come back to those 3 strategies I mentioned before. But before we get to those, let's get in a little more to what I'm talking about with those keywords. So those are called buyer intent keywords, right? And basically, those are words or phrases that someone's going to search on Google when they want to find a service and pay for it, right? So in the case of Air Aesthetics, that might be something like Botox Denver. I know you guys have locations in Denver and LA. You could really do this. You could do Botox Los Angeles, or you could really do any of these other services you provide. But I just want to use Botox as an example because it's really popular. I'm sure it's one of your more popular services. So I went ahead and searched Botox Denver on Google, and let's see what pops up. So first we have the paid ads. We're going to skip those for now. That's not really what I'm talking about here. And they only get about 1% of the clicks. So then below that map section, we have what's called the organic listings. So these are the websites that show up, unlike those paid ads, without having to pay any money directly to Google. So these are what's going to get the majority of the website traffic when people search for stuff on Google. And up at the top here, we see some of your Denver competitors, right? Colorado Plastic Surgery, Happy Clinic Denver, the Lux Room. But so far, I haven't seen Aere Aesthetics yet. So let's look down a little further and see if we can find you. Okay, so that's the end of the first page. And we'll go a little further and see if we find Aere Aesthetics on the second page. Okay, so nothing yet. All right, so see those ads kind of mark the end of each page, right? And I haven't found Air Aesthetics anywhere, right? So what that means is that all the people searching Botox Denver are going to be going to these websites right here. And they're not going to be going to airaesthetics.com. So they're going to be going to your competitors. So you might ask, well, do I even care about this keyword Botox Denver? Like, how many people really even search this? And we can actually take a look at those. Oops, wrong one. Where is it? Here we go. We can actually take a look at those numbers using this tool called Ahrefs. So what this does is it gives me search data for keywords like this. And right here we see that keyword that we looked at, Botox Denver. And you can see that it gets 1,000 searches every month, right? That's what this number here means. So that's a lot. I mean, that's 1,000 people every single month searching for Botox. And the fact that they're saying Denver, it probably means they're in Denver, right? And if you look down this list, right, Denver Botox, we have 800 more. Best Botox Denver, 250 more, So this is, and we're already like well over 2,000 people a month searching for this service. But if your website isn't popping up when people search this stuff, then they're not going to find you. So we can actually look at the keywords you do show up for. So right here, I searched airaesthetics.com on Ahrefs. Let's take a look at these keywords. Okay, so let's sort by position so that we see where you come up at the top. Okay. So it looks like you're showing up at the top for a few keywords, right? Air Aesthetics, you want to show up for your business name, but it's not likely that these are new customers, right? If they search Air Aesthetics, especially you have this unique spelling, they probably already know about you. They're probably unique customers, or you already have reached them and you don't need to help them find you. So we can look a little further down and see if we see any of those buyer intent keywords. Here's Cosmo Peel Denver. That's not bad, but only 20 searches. Let's see if you show up for anything related to Botox. And we can look in both Denver and LA. So here's your top Botox keyword, right? Botox training Denver. But you're only in the 29th position for that. And that means, that's like the third page of Google probably. And realistically, I can tell you nobody is scrolling to the third page of Google to find a business they want to go to. Oh, and here's another one. Like, this is a great example. Best Botox Denver, 250 searches, but look, 70th position. So I can tell you definitely nobody is going to the seventh or eighth page of Google to find a business, right? They're going to click something on the first or second page. So why don't we take a look at one of your competitors and see what they're showing up for? Oops. So this is Happy Clinic Denver. I think they were like the first or second link on there. And let's look at their keywords. Okay. So right here you can see, this is really what you want to go for, right? Denver Botox and Botox Denver, 700 and 900 searches a month. And look where they are. They're on the first page, third position, sixth position. So those are both going to get a lot of traffic, right? And here's another one, or Botox in Denver, Colorado, fourth position. I can tell you they're getting tons of website visitors from these keywords. So how can you compete with them, right? How can you get these top spots? Well, that's going to come back to those three strategies I mentioned at the start. And the first of those is going to be the content on your website, right? So what Google wants to see from its top businesses is actually about 1,500 to 2,000 words of content on the homepage. And it should use those keywords you want to target, right? In a natural sounding way, right? So we should see Botox Denver on here at about 1,500 words. So I'm scrolling down here and let's see, how much content you have for starters. Okay, so we're at the bottom and you probably have about, 400 words. So that's a great start, but it's not quite as much as Google wants to see. So why don't we take a look at that competitor, Happy Clinic, and see what their website looks like. So here we are, Happy Clinic Denver, and let's just scroll down. We see they probably have a little more content, but not too much. So they might have 400 or 500 words, maybe not even. But that's actually a good thing, right? That means that they're not going to be difficult to beat in terms of content, right? As long as you add that minimum that Google wants to see, that 1,500 words, then you're going to be able to beat out Happy Clinic Denver for sure, at least in terms of content. So then that brings me to the second strategy I want to talk about, which is called backlinking, right? And so a backlink is when another website posts a link that goes to your website. And what that does is it tells Google that you're a credible business, because when they see other websites linking to you, that gives them trust, right? Because they see that other companies are talking about you and they're sending their users to your website through that link. So we can see here that you already have 50 backlinks, so that's a great start. But let's take a look at your competitor really quick, Happy Clinic. So they have 61. Okay, so they're not too far ahead of you. But they do, so that's actually referring domains that I mentioned, so that's the websites that link. But as you can see here, you only have 93 backlinks from those websites. They have 327, so they do have more links than you. The other thing about this, though, is that not all backlinks are created equal, right? So we want to see, it's not just how many, it's how they're linking, right? So that takes us to what's called the anchor text, right? And this is actually the text, the phrase that contains the link in that backlink. And what you want to have with this is, a mix of your business name and the keywords you want to target, right? So right here we see your anchors. And we see your business name, we see your website. That's great. But let's see if we see any of those keywords, right? We don't see Botox Denver anywhere. I haven't seen it. I mean, we can search really quick. Denver. No, you want that exact keyword in that anchor text. That's how Google knows, okay, this keyword is really important for this website. So that's something we can do to improve your backlinking here. Okay, so one more strategy that I want to talk about is called the Google Maps section, right? So I'm sure you've seen it before. That's this part of the search results where you have this little map, and you have the 3 featured businesses, not including the sponsored one. So it's going to be really important to get into these top 3 because they actually get about 30% of the clicks from searches like this. So how can you do that? Well, one thing we like to do is called citations. And that's kind of like a backlink, except instead of linking to your website, it goes to your Google Maps profile. So those are going to be websites like Yelp, Yellow Pages, stuff like that. And what we want to do is we want to see what your top competitor on here has. So Cherry Medical, we want to see all their citations and make sure we have all the same ones. But then we want to go above and beyond that and just make sure you have 100, 200 more, right? So that you're just blowing them out of the water. And on top of that, we want to make sure that you've filled out your whole Google Maps profile, you added a lot of images, and you're responding to your reviews. All that stuff is really important, and Google's going to reward you for it by moving you up in those map rankings. Okay, Nikon, so those are the 3 things I wanted to talk about. Again, that's the content on your website. It's those backlinks, right? We want to make sure these are being built correctly with that anchor text, and we want to make sure that you're not just like tied with your competitor, but you have way more backlinks than them. Finally, we want to get you in that map section so you can take advantage of the extra traffic from these links. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. I really hope it was valuable to you. If it was, just give me a call or shoot me an email after you're done watching, and we can talk about the next steps. All right, thank you.